Paris, France. In November 22, Neymar of PSG celebrates scoring his team's first goal with Dani Alves during the UEFA Champions League Group B match between Paris Saint-Germain and Celtic FC at Parc des Princes on November 22, 2017 in Paris, France. Photo by Catherine Ivill. Getty Images. The second half of the 2018 FIFA World Cup coincides with the first half of a rather silly period in professional football circles, the transfer window. Once again, ridiculous amounts of money are expected to change hands, and a few players, and their agents, are bound to grab this opportunity to use interest from other suitors as bait to score better deals with their existing clubs. Long gone are the days where international footballers would, after taking part in the game's biggest stage, return to run-of-the-mill day jobs in order to make ends meet while waiting for the next call-up. Top and, in some cases, mediocre players pocket big bucks these days, and a host of them will be in full display in Russia. While a few top earners like Gareth Bale and Alexis Sanchez are likely to watch the showpiece from the comfort of their homes should they opt not to watch from the stands, as both Wales and Chile failed to qualify, Russia 2018 will not be short of some of the game's biggest money machines. Who are the highest-paid players at the 2018 FIFA World Cup? Manuel Neuer, Germany, $180,000 a week should he regain fitness in time to line up alongside his teammates as they look to defend their world title. The German shot-stopper will be one of the highest-paid men on display in this year's tournament. Regarded as one of the world's very best goalkeepers, Bayern Munich were not keen on taking chances in letting his contract run out as he penned a new deal with the club in 2017, which sees him pocket ridiculous amount about $2 million for a week's worth of work. Angel Di Maria, Argentina, $350,000 when Qatari businessman, Nasser Al-Khelaifi took over what was already France's most recognizable club in 2011. He brought with him some financial muscle, which saw the Parisian side wrestle it out with the biggest clubs in Europe in the transfer market. In 2015, Paris Saint-Germain were able to lure one of Argentina's stars of the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, Angel Di Maria, away for Man United, after a short, and different stint at the club. The 30-year-old now pockets $350,000 a week playing against French farmers and dentists. Robert Lewandowski, Poland, $270,000. You will not win games without scoring goals or, in Bayern Munich's case, you will not dominate the Bundesliga without having the finest attackers in your arsenal. The Bavarian Giants are the undisputed kings of Germany and, in recent years, they've gone about underlining their domination by poaching players from their biggest rivals, Borussia Dortmund. Polish marksman, Robert Lewandowski made the high-profile move from the Signal Iduna Park to the Allianz Arena, and it's paid off for both club and player, as Bayern have opened a massive gap between themselves and their closest competitors, while the forward laughs all the way to the bank. Philippe Coutinho, Brazil, $270,000. Liverpool were always going to have a tough time holding on to their star players should the big guns come calling, and that is exactly what happened when Barca set their sights on Brazilian starlet Philippe Coutinho before the start of the 2017-18 season. The move was completed in the January 2018 transfer. 25-year-old left Merseyside for a reported $142 million, and settled in Catalonia, where he earns $270,000. Marcelo, Brazil, $270,000. Coutinho's Brazilian teammate is one of the most dynamic fullbacks in the game, and a potent attacking option for Real Madrid. Arguably the best in his position, Los Blancos are looking to keep him in their books for as long as he's at the top of his game by paying him accordingly. Thiago Silva, Brazil, $270,000. Another Brazilian on the list is defender, Thiago Silva. The 33-year-old has been at PSG for over 6 years and will be one of the highest-earning players on display in Russia. David De Gea, Spain, $270,000. It is without a doubt that Manchester United have suffered a considerable dip in form since their legendary manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, retired 4 seasons ago. One wonders if the Red Devils would be as competitive in the English Premier League if it wasn't for their last line of defence, David De Gea. The Spaniard has recently secured his first-ever Golden Glove award, with 19 clean sheets in the recently concluded season, and has seamlessly slipped into stalwart Iker Casillas' shoes as his country's first-choice goalie. With him making the Premier League's PFA Team of the Season with regularity, it has garnered attention from one of the biggest clubs in his home country, Real Madrid, who have constantly been linked with him for the last 5 or so seasons. United have been left with no choice but to keep him happy financially, as well as tinker with the fax machine every now and then. Romelu Lukaku, Belgium, $270,000. In his second season at United, Jose Mourinho sought to address a major issue he encountered in his first gig, the lack of a proven, clinical finisher, so he manager poached Belgian, Romelu Lukaku from Everton. Sergio Ramos, Spain, $270,000. Spain are one of the favourites to lift up the World Cup trophy in Russia, and, should they succeed, that honour will fall upon their skipper Sergio Ramos. An important player for both club and country, he is one of the highest-paid defenders that will be on display in the global spectacle. Toni Kroos, Germany, $270,000. In among Real Madrid's star-studded lineup is German midfielder, Toni Kroos. He will be lining up to defend the World Cup title he and his fellow men from Deutschland clinched in Brazil 4 years ago. Dani Alves, Brazil, $275,000. At 35, Dani Alves will be one of Brazil's experienced heads in this edition of the World Cup, as he looks to finally hoist the trophy in his 4th attempt. Sergio Aguero, Argentina, $299,000. 2014 runners-up, Argentina possess more attacking firepower than, arguably, any other side that will be on display in this year's competition. Such is their abundance of riches, a player of Sergio Aguero might just find himself warming the bench a bit. A role not entirely foreign to him, as he's picked up his fair share of splinters in the Manchester City bench since the arrival of Pep Guardiola. However, he still remains one of the club's highest earners, and will be among the money men in Russia. Paul Pogba, France, $390,000. The Frenchman is one of the game's biggest superstars, and was always bound to pocket big bucks. His big money return to the richest football club in the world, Manchester United, has paid dividends, not only for himself, but for the club as well, as his celebrity status sees the Red Devils rake in big money from merchandise sold, and this is still without him releasing a dance video. Luis Suarez, Uruguay, $390,000. Uruguay are one of the dark horses in this year's tournament, and most of their hopes will be pinned on star forward, Luis Suarez. The 31-year-old has a penchant for catching the headlines for all the wrong reasons in the game's biggest stage, whether with his hands or with his teeth. His big money move from Liverpool to Barcelona saw him become the Catalan Giants' second biggest earning player, behind their megastar, Lionel Messi. Kylian Mbappé, France, $420,000. If you think back to what you were doing as an 18-year-old, interest from the likes of Real Madrid was the least of your worries, unless your name is Kylian Mbappé. In an exciting generation of French players, the teenage sensation is one of the most promising stars, and his star power was underlined by his big money move from his Monaco to PSG. Mesut Ozil, Germany, $475,000. Mesut Ozil's drawn-out saga over whether he will sign a new deal with Arsenal was a subject of much speculation as to if he will stay in North London much longer. In February, he finally put an end to that, by signing a new deal which sees him at the Gunners for a further 3 years, as well as pocket almost $500,000 a week. Lionel Messi, Argentina, $496,000. There are not too many players one can describe as one-club men in this generation of footballers, but the Argentinian magician so far fits that description, as he has been at Barca since he was a 14-year-old. But of course, the Catalan giants would be naive to take chances in believing that it's only loyalty keep him at the club. Which is why they have ensured that he earns an amount which reflects his prodigious talent. Argentine hopes will once again rest upon their diminutive megastar, who is yet to pick up a major trophy with his national side. Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal, $496,000. Since Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival from Manchester United in 2009, he's either equaled, exceeded or just fallen short of every feat Messi has achieved in La Liga. This is almost reflected in how much their respective clubs are prepared to part with in order to keep their marquee players. The Portuguese maestro will wear the armband when his side step out into the arena in Russia and, unlike the European Championship where he was on the sidelines when his side emerged victorious, will hope to be the man hoisting the famous trophy aloft, further etching his name in history. Neymar, Brazil, $600,000. It's not very often that a superstar player is lured away from Barca still in his prime, but that was the case for Brazil's Neymar when PSG came calling with a ridiculous record transfer fee. At the Catalan giants, the 26-year-old formed the famous MSN front trio partnership with Messi and Suarez, and is now part of an also potent attack consisting of Mbappé and another Uruguayan in Edison Cavani. Having spent a massive chunk of his debut season in France on the sidelines due to injury, he will be looking to get over the disappointment suffered by his countrymen in his absence, when they were whacked 7-1 by Germany on home soil in the previous World Cup.